All right, good morning. We're back here with Keno, and we're doing a little bit of spring tuning up with him and one of my students. And now we're fixing to put this new J.C. Martin saddle on him for the first time and kind of check it out, and hopefully we'll get a ride if he doesn't continue doing this little antics he's been doing here for the last 20 or 30 minutes. Come here, buddy. This new saddle, like all of J.C. Martin's saddles, have full quarter-horse bars. And Keno is a quarter-horse. He's got a nice back. It's not really high withered. He's not mutton withered. And just a 1-inch pad fits him just perfectly with most all of these saddles. Now, Hunter, you don't have to hold him, but come around to the other side here and watch how I put this saddle in. Okay, when you go to saddle a horse, okay, I ride it on my hip, and that way I can swing and lift on this saddle at the same time, use my body to help pull this up so you're not just herking this damn thing up in the air. So slide back just a little bit or you're going to get hit with the stirrup. So when I get up here and get ready to go, I want to make sure on a young horse that I've got my lead close enough to where I can get a hold of it if I need to. And I grab the front of this skirt, the corner of the cantle, and you just swing and lift. And it goes right on up there. Now, with any saddle that you're working with, you want to make sure when you get it up there, if I was fitting this saddle, I would fit it to him first without the pad to see how it sits on his back and keeps him rocking and see how steady it is. But I'm familiar enough with these saddles to know that it's going to fit fine with him. And then you reach up under here and you pull that pad up a little bit before you start putting cinches on. You come around to this side. Unbuckle your cinches. Now, because this is a brand new saddle, see, that needs to be in the center of his chest. So I got to lower this thing down a bunch because he's grown a belly over the winter. And I want it to be a little bit shorter on this side because this cinch and the latigos are going to stretch because it's brand new. So we'll try it there for now. And that'll be okay for the time being. Always put the front cinch on first. You reach under there, keep your head forward so he doesn't kick you in the face. And what a lot of people will do when they pull their horses out and they go to saddle up, they just cut them in half with this thing and cut off their air, and that's when they run into horses sucking back at the trailer and rolling up and rolling over backwards because you cut their air off when you do that. So you just put this on initially snug to where it's going to hold that saddle on. And because these are stretching, we're going to have to adjust this quite a bit over the next few minutes just to get this up here where I can ride it. Okay? Now, right now, that cinch on that side is sitting just about where I want it. So I'll do most of my adjusting during the groundwork on that side. I have to go over there and look where that cinch is sitting. But now, what I was telling you about this keeper, see how much I got out of that thing? Yeah. And that would still slide back another 2 inches from where it is. So I'm going to take another couple of 2 or 3 holes out of this thing because I want that flank cinch not to slide back there into his belly. So we're going to put it a little bit short for now. And I'll cut this stuff off as needed. And I also want this cinch, I also want this flank cinch right up on his belly where it's going to do some good. Because it's there to stabilize the back of this saddle when you're roping or working on hills or whatnot. And if you leave it down hanging that far, it's just a place for a horse to get a foot in and hung up and have a big wreck. So it's up there on his belly. It's still not gut cut and tight. It is right at the moment, but you'll see when he starts working and I do the groundwork and settle him out with this saddle on, by the time I'm done and ready to get on him and ride, it's probably going to be hanging down that far. Now see this side here, already just with him taking air, he took a breath when I cinched him, and look how loose that is already. So we'll take another hole or two out of this side for now. And now he's ready to go as far as his groundwork goes. So now for you guys watching at home, what Keno normally does, I've had Keno for 2 or 3 years. I know pretty much everything about him, whether what he's gonna do when I pull him out of the pasture after sitting for a couple of months like he's been this spring, or whether I pull him out tomorrow after working with him today. I can tell you what he does 99% of the time before I even go put a halter on him. He has got a ton of energy. He's kind of a big kid. He likes to play around. And when I go to groundwork him, chances are pretty good that when I start him out, everything's going to be fine. And then when I ask him to go a little bit faster, he's going to do a couple of these numbers around here. And he does it just like my old horse Pag. So we'll see what happens with him. You know, and of course, when I tried to make a video of this, when I tried to make a video out of this with Pagnio, who did it his whole life, the one time I tried to make a video, he didn't do it. I hope Keno doesn't let me down. If you watch closely, you could kind of see that little bit of a hump going on there. The reason why he's not, the reason why he's not doing it like he normally does is because this round pen is really, really soft today, and we're putting divots in there about that deep when they start running around in here. So he's a little bit gun shy about losing his feet underneath him. And I'm not going to keep pushing him to get him to do that. You guys can see that new saddle sits on him pretty darn good. When you got your rear cinch up there on his belly where it's supposed to be, it's not going to do that flopping around that people are complaining about, because the saddle is designed to ride with both cinches, not just the front cinch. And when you tighten down that front cinch too much, it's going to pick up the back of that saddle unless you're sitting in it. So if you don't ride with a flank cinch, don't worry too much about that saddle being up off his back, because it's gonna lay flat on his back and fit him just fine when you get in it and ride. Lorraine, can you go over to the tack room and get my rag vest, please?